Are you trying to sound like an off-brand Alvin and the Chipmunks with way too much auto-tune on your voice? Are you trying to hide the fact that you have no singing talents whatsoever, so you're disguising it with effects to make it look like you're quirky? Lucky for you, in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to make the HYPERPOP vocal effects. Before we begin, consider subscribing and hitting the bell for more videos like this. It's free and you can change your mind whenever you want. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing you gotta do is you gotta open up FL, and first things first, get a vocal track turned on. So in this case I'm using the Blue Yeti, a very standard microphone. It's only $100, but it gets the job done very well. Before adding the effects, we need to make sure that the vocal sounds crispy and ready for the song. So I have this preset over here, crisp, and it gives me everything we need. So the first things first, we need a compressor. So I have my threshold at negative 10.7 dB. The knee is at 0, I didn't change that. The ratio is 4 to 3 to 1. You can toy around with this as much as you want to fit like your vocal style. However, this has worked the best for me. If you don't want that, however, there's another alternative, which you go over here, dynamics, fruity compressor, bada boom bada bing. You have the choice between either drums or vintage. I like drums because of how loud it is. Like, as you can see, I don't even have it turned on, but you can see like how high it's going into the threshold. So we're gonna turn this off though. Then we need a De-Esser. There's two options. The first is this free plugin you can get called Spitfish, and the way this works is you can go over here to listen. So you do this. Alright, so what I did over there is by clicking that, I was able to detect the S's in my voice, which we're going to try to reduce to make it not as sharp as usual. So once we have that, then we go over here to depth to try to remove as much as possible. There are videos on how this works, but if you're too much of a lazy ass, luckily we have Maximus for you, which gives you already a set plugin called De-Esser Split Band. Now, you can edit around with this, like lower whatever you need in order to remove those frequencies. However, it works pretty well with just that standard de-essing. Now, next thing we want is a limiter. So I put the ceiling to negative 11.6 dB and left the attack the way it was, 2 milliseconds, 85 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds, etc. I even added the gain pretty high at 3.7 dB and left the saturation the way it is. Once we have that, then I have over here a parametric EQ, which basically removes all the low. Now, if you want to learn how to do that from the start, you go over here to default and really up until like the bass section. So you can go over here with your 2, and what you do over here is you go to type, high pass, and I went over here and added a steep just to remove it completely, and drop this down over here. And as you can see, all the low is gone and it just focuses on the high and the mid. And once you're done with that, all you need left is a soundgodizer to make your vocals as crisp as possible. But once you're done with that, now is the final part, which is basically the main thing you guys have been waiting for, which is the vocal effects, which comes in the form of auto-tune and form and shift. So there's many different ways of getting auto-tune. There is a free auto-tune over here called Pitcher, which also comes with form and shift. However, it's not as good as the two other ones I have. Now, the one I'm going to be using is a paid one that I got from one of my guys. However, there are free auto-tunes like Pitcher that you can use. There's another one that is also pretty good. I prefer the Auto-Tune Pro, which is what I'm going to use right now. So as you can see, we have quite a few things going on, but the main things we need to focus on is the key, the scale, the retune speed, humanize, and then later the formant, which we'll get to over here. So now that we have the scale and the key of the song, it's time to mess around with the retune speed and the humanizer. For those who haven't seen my guide to auto-tune for dummies, I recommend checking it out right now. It's a pretty good explanation video, but just to summarize, retune speed sets the rate at which the input audio is moved to the target pitches. The retune speed determines how fast your vocals and pitch is corrected, while humanizer gives you a human quality to it and is the thing that stops you from sounding like a complete robot. However, we want to sound like a complete robot, so what we're going to do over here is put the retune speed all the way to 0 so it is at its most robotic and leave humanize like this. and we sound like this.
I feel so clean like a money machine. Yeah. Ooh, woo.
And once we're done with that, the final thing is form and shift, which, as you can see, enable automatic form and correction. For those who don't know, basically it keeps the pitch at which you're singing, however makes your voice higher or lower as if you had helium or something. So what we want to do is we want to click format, and we set up over here.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we start off at 100. However, if you want to make your voice higher, like in the HYPERPOP songs, you have to move it to the left. If you want to have a deeper voice, you have to move it to the right. So I'm going to see how it sounds at about like 60.
Something, I don't know the lyrics. I feel so clean like a money machine.
Oh my god. What about at its like highest?
I feel so clean like a money machine.
I sound like Kermit the Frog. What the hell is this?
I'm on a sugar crack.
Yeah, but that sounds too... What is this? This sounds demonic.
I'm on a sugar crack.
This sounds so bad. But if you want to record, all you have to do is go over here, record, and then audio into the playlist as an audio clip. Bada boom, bada bing. And you start going. I don't know if you noticed, but I added some reverb over here. Very slight reverb. Just to give it a bit of space so it doesn't sound so disgustingly dry. What the fuck? But anyway, this has been the video. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell for more videos like this. It's free. You can change your mind whenever you want. I also make music. You can check it out on the first link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.